So this is how we keep healthy diet. Obviously in modern worlds, especially in developed countries, food is becoming more and more poisoned day by day, thanks to this over capitalism and the fact that most people don't produce their own food. So what is the only way, for me the only way to keep healthy diet is to produce your own food. In other videos I think I may have shown you how my mother-in-law maintains a huge garden where she produced almost everything, which I think makes up about maybe 50% of their annual diet, honestly. They also give to us. But now we started producing our own in small scale, much smaller scale, but we hope to take it further. So here you see tomatoes. I don't know if my camera is good enough to show that, but they are really carrying a lot. So this is the very first year us producing things like this, so we are really satisfied with the production. Tomatoes are yet to ripe, they're still green, but they're growing. And next to them there are peppers, paprika in Polish. And here we have poziomki. Poziomki are very small truskawki or strawberries. They're really delicious, but smaller in size compared to strawberries. There you see dynia. I forgot what is dynia in English. Pumpkin, yes. Do you see? Some two really large pieces, and there are smaller ones coming out. Dynia is covering a bunch of berries, American berries, blueberries, which are yet to give any fruit this year. Here you have a section of strawberries. Earlier I showed you the small strawberries, also called poziomki in English. I don't know the name in English, but strawberries are here. We had many rounds of fruits, but some of them are still producing. Do you see? They give flowers and then they immediately in the same box carry the seeds. That's what they look like when they grow. Even this morning I had a bunch of them. Honestly, the season has passed, but they wanna keep giving us, right? It's not a bad thing, is it? In this section we have veggies. I think some of the veggies we planted here are not really matching to the soil type here. The likes of, for example, onions, they don't give much produce. Or maybe it's just soil is still wild. But other things we planted have really gone well. So for example, here was sałata, some salads. You see the line of beetroots here. I think this is yarmush, some sort of cabbage. Here we have celery and petrushka. Yeah, and here cucumbers. This is the most surprising one for me because we planted only 4 items, 4 little pieces of cucumber, and you have no idea how many bugs of cucumber we collected from here. They're still carrying some. It's the most productive item that I have ever seen in my entire life, and they are really delicious. So what do we do with them? With cucumbers you can eat raw because they're fruits, not so sweet, but they're really eatable. You can also serve with other salads for your breakfast. They are a good match for example, tomato. And you add some olive oil on top. It doesn't get any better. Or you can also make tzatziki sauce. It's Greek sauce with yogurt and cucumber. You chop them into small pieces, dry them a little bit, removing the water, and then add yogurt and some other spices. So, and I think olive oil as well. It's amazing. You can eat that with anything. You can make a toast out of it, sandwich. It really goes with everything. And here we have salad. We picked so many times from here, but it keeps growing again and again. Carrots, one line of carrot, and onions also there. I think even yesterday my wife picked some carrots from here. There's another line of carrot also. They keep growing. Here we have beans. Yeah. So it is partly picked because in Poland apparently they don't wait until it fully ripes, because they make soup with the young ones, young fruits like this one. They can also sometimes just boil it and eat with the skin as well. Don't even take the thing out, but it's gotta be young for that. Interesting. Yes, so there were two lines of onion here which were picked. Onion was the most disappointing thing, but I think we got something back. Another line of carrots and beetroots. Yeah. So now what is next? What is next is we're gonna be planting more fruits and vegetables, but also tree fruits, the likes of apple, the likes of cherries. Poland has quite a lot of choice when it comes to fruits. So, for example, peaches, morella. I don't know what that's in English. Poziomki. I talked about that. Porzeczki, which go into compote, go into jam and things like that. I showed such fruits in my previous video about my mother-in-law's garden. Yeah, so we have land ready for that on the other side, just behind our fence that you see over there. We hope that will be only for planting stuff, and by then I'm sure we will be able to cover most of our food expenses. Do you know why? Because in Poland people store things in jar. As much as they produce, they also store. And jarring is a big part of this culture. Yeah, and then things stay longer, I think, because it's not so warm like in other countries. You can even eat it for next few years, not just the same year. Yeah, because it's important to keep healthy diet. People look like what they eat. You eat trash, it reflects immediately on your health. Another important thing about such physical work is it keeps you healthy in the process, because people like me who have an IT job, who constantly just sit on computer and have very stagnant life, sooner or later they show signs of illness, being in poor health. So if you have a chance to do something like this, which is a very, very physical work, because preparing the land, removing the grass and roads, cutting trees, because this was a complete forest when we started. I had to cut all the trees on my own. You can even see some of them chopped here, the others on the other side. And then preparing the soil, like I said, like we don't have tractor, we don't have special machines, so it's all manual with simple machines, just like people do in Africa. And then planting them is sometimes you need to plant into small pots, and when they are grown and old enough, because it's also you need to prepare them in the cold season while it's still cold around April, May, and you cannot plant the likes of tomatoes outside because they would die, because sometimes at night temperatures go below 0. So you plant it at home when they are old enough, as well as the temperature outside is warm enough. You bring them and plant them into the soil which you prepared. So all this work keeps you active, keeps you healthy. So the whole thing is interrelated, really. Food you eat is healthy, your lifestyle is healthy. You don't need to spend much money on doctors and drugs, and you don't need to suffer from illness. That's it for today. If anybody, especially immigrants living here, has a chance to do this, go for it. Yeah, because you know it or you don't know, but diet that you have is very likely to be unhealthy unless unless you're doing something like this, eating your own food or eating from people who actually produce their own food. Yeah, and if you need advice, just let me know. Maybe we can direct you where to start. Have a good one. Bye bye.